Hey everyone, how's it going today? In this video about C programming, I'm going to be explaining to you how you should name your variables in C. So to start off, I have a file, I named it variable.c, and I'm going to get the file ready real quick. Include stdio.h. I made my main right here. Alright, so the first thing you want to keep in mind is to limit the length of your variables 1 to 31 characters. So you don't want to be going above 31 characters, or you'll get errors when you try to compile your program. And it's just not good practice anyway. If you have variables with over 31 characters, then it might start getting confusing, and it's a lot to type after a little while too. Also, it's not good practice to name your variables the same as other ones. Alright, so for example, say we have an int variable right here, and I'm going to call it int x equals 6. And then let's say I have another variable right here. I'll say float x equals 5. Then I'm going to print it out, right? And it just starts getting confusing after a little while, you know. It's if you're gonna do that, try to name this x1, maybe give this x2, but don't name it the same as the other letter. It'll get really confusing for you. The next one to keep in mind is that your variables must always begin with an alpha character. So basically, this is like a letter of the alphabet. So anything like this, you could say int a equals 5 or 4. Yeah, you could do single letters like this perfectly fine right there. But one thing you're not gonna want to do, and you'll get an error if you go int ampersand equals 5. That's not gonna work. Or say you do int $sign y equals 5. That's not you're gonna get an error when you try to compile that, right? So always avoid that. Always remember to begin with a alpha character like A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You'll always be fine with that moving forward. Another point to keep in mind is you can do it, but it's just not good practice. Never name your underscore first. I mean, you can do this and it will compile, but it's just not good practice. Good practice to do this. So, for example, what I mean is int. You will be able to compile this correctly, but it's just not good practice. It doesn't look that good. If you're gonna do that, I would suggest against that right there. So you could say int y1 equals 5 if you want to do that. That's perfectly fine right there. But I would just try to avoid that one right there. If you want to put the underscore, that's awesome. I really like doing the underscore sometimes. And another one that's really good to use, it's this one. It's called Camel Casing. That's what I usually like to use in my program. So I could say int. I could say quality income equals 6. That's perfectly fine right there. You see how this one's lowercase and this one's uppercase right there. When someone's looking at your program, including you, it's so easy to read right there. You could do this too, but if you're gonna keep doing that with the uppercase right here and the uppercase right there, when you look at it, it's not completely clear what you're talking about. So I would, if you're gonna use this one, lowercase this one first and uppercase this one. You can also do this. This one looks cool too. I like to use this one sometimes too. I would try to use this one right here where you're start with a lowercase letter, then after every word after that uppercase the letters. Then you can try this one right here where you have the underscore between the words right there. Another thing to keep in mind when you're naming your variables is to never name them after commands or functions. So let's say you want to try to name a variable return or something like that after the return statement. It's not going to compile. So say we have a float return equals 5.0. If we try to compile this right here, it's not going to work. Let's see, Control F, %f. Let's see what we get. Let's see what we get when we compile this up right there. See, it's going to give you an error right here when you try to compile it up. Same thing when you're making a function. Avoid naming the function after. Avoid naming the variable after what you name the function. You'll just run into errors, and it will start getting really confusing for you. I'll give you some examples of some good names right there. Let's see. The first one you could say int my equals 6. Perfectly fine right there. You see how you use the lowercase and uppercase right there. You could also use something like int my. You could use that too with the underscore right there. Perfectly okay. You could also use something like this if you want to too. You could say int keep 13 equals 15. You could say something like that if you want, but if you use the number before the keep right there, you're gonna run into errors when you can try to compile your program up. You could also use something like this if you want to have a program calculating speed limits. You could say int speed limit equals 67. Perfectly okay. You could do the same thing right there where you could lowercase the s, then keep the L uppercase if you want to do that. You could also use single characters if you want to. Just remember to not keep the numbers. You see people doing that all the time. You can say x equals 6. You can say int y equals 8. Perfectly okay right there. You see people using single characters all the time. Just remember to don't use dollar signs, ampersands, percent signs when you're trying to name your variables. You'll get errors when you compile that. Some bad examples which you should avoid. You don't want to. Let's have a double 67 pay equals 7. If we try to compile it up, we're gonna get an error. Let's see what happens. Yep, see, because it's starting with a number, you're always going to get errors when you're trying to compile your program. Another example of something that you want to avoid is, say we have int my data equals, say, 88. You'll also get an error if you try to do this. We have spaces between your variable names. You want to avoid that moving forward. And the last one that you want to avoid is using special characters, except for the underscore, when you're naming your variable. So for example, say we have int we'll say first initial, then last equals whatever. If you use a special character like a comma right there, it won't compile and you get an error right there. And that reminds me, there's one more that you want to avoid. Say I'm making an integer variable, right? I don't want to. I can't. I'm not gonna name the variable bool and set that to 55 or whatever. You don't want to name your variables at the data type, such as these are the ones you want to avoid too. Int bool double float char. These are some of the ones that you want to avoid right here. Never name your variables at the data types. Hope you got something out of this video. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.